Hi, it's Terry from No Crumbs Left, and today I'm in the kitchen with Icelandic provision Skyr making caramelized onion dip. How spectacular is that? Let's go. We're gonna cut this in half, and in every situation, I like to use a Vidalia or a sweet onion, and then it's easy just to peel this off, and we're gonna cut these in half moons. Doesn't need to be tiny. What we're gonna do is we're gonna cut this, and it does not need to be super thin. And what we're gonna wind up with is something in the end like this. What goes into it? We caramelize the onions in butter, and we end up adding chives, salt, pepper, apple cider vinegar, olive oil, cayenne, and of course, plain Skyr. The pan's hot, so let's add the olive oil, and let's also add the butter. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna add all 4 cups, and every onion's different, and every pan's different, and every stove's different. So it's gonna take as long as it takes, and you can't leave the stove. Notice I'm adding the salt and pepper. You notice that I'm using a bigger pan, and you might not have one this big. It's gonna take something around 18 minutes, and you're just gonna stand here, and as it starts to cook, you're gonna start to stir. So here it is after about 10 minutes. We want them a little bit more. You can see why you can't even leave the stove at all. So here we are, we're about done. You know, we've got a few of these weird pieces that aren't, but what we're gonna do is take this out, we're gonna let it sit for a minute, and then we're gonna chop this a little more fine. And you can take the onions that are bigger and just let them saute for a couple more minutes. So as these are done, I'm taking them off, but then this needs to be cooked a little longer, so I'm leaving those on. And let's let these cool a little bit, and then we're gonna chop them up and add them with the Skyr and some other bits of goodness, and we're gonna have something really wonderful. So what we're doing now is let them cool just a bit, and let's go ahead and chop them. Not chop them fine, but just get rid of any of the big pieces, and we're gonna mix it together with the Skyr and apple cider vinegar, cayenne, and it's gonna be absolutely delicious. So you're gonna take the Skyr out. I love the plain. It is the most amazing sauce starter, just the best for a magic elixir. And then we're gonna add it with, and I'll get all of that, don't worry. We're gonna add it with the vinegar and the cayenne and mix it up. So I'm gonna add the cayenne and I'm gonna add the chives. It's just easier. You can actually do any order you want, but it's frankly easier just to get it all in there before we add the onions, and then it's basically done. We're gonna put together a platter. Just this easy, add the onions. And I think probably I'm gonna add some, stir it up, and then add more. It is so delicious and caramely and wonderful. And it's a wonderful appetizer platter, but why can't we have an appetizer platter just for a weeknight dinner? How else it's wonderful? It's wonderful to take roast beef and roll this in the roast beef. So delicious. And it could be a great little lunch to go for the next day. As I have this fantastic slicer, I'm gonna use it, and it makes it so that you can do it ultra thin. So let's go ahead and put these on. And yep, my fire detector does go off sometimes. Gotta go ahead and tell you, but we just run around when that happens and fan underneath and open the front door. And then as they're done, and I like them kind of crispy, you pull them off and you salt them. So here we go. They look so fantastic. And of course, because I'm gluten-free, I always love gluten-free alternatives. The trick on the chip is the thinner the better. And there's a bit of a learning curve. So just take your time and do a few at a time until you get it right. Now, I think what would have been really nice is to do some roast beef on here. So we're gonna do that. And I have to tell you, I'm loving these Simple Mills crackers, which are great gluten-free. So we're gonna add some of those. And you can, of course, add anything you want if you're not gluten-free. And then I added a bit more salt here, and let's add some chives. Okay, Skyr, I'm loving this. I'm gonna take a bite. Crunchy, delicious. That onion flavor is amazing. Swipe up here for the recipe.